It's My Party is the UK #1 single. Chariots of Fire is still the biggest film in the world. And in the news this week, Crazy George Henderson has created a new kind of audience participation technique he's calling the wave.
So important, I think, if the people have a good time and they don't get the rowdy things, that don't try to injure people or do things that create difficulties for the people that are alongside them that are trying to have a good time. Baseball's supposed to be a fun game.
You keep on being crazy, Crazy George, because that will never catch on. Meanwhile, here we are. It is our season finale. I've got my season finale tie on. It's time for the Caesars Palace Grand Prix of 1981. Now, although it is our season finale here this week, we actually have to be quite quick because once this is over, they're showing a rerun of Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. I've never seen it. I hear it's quite good and we can't overlap with that program. So without further ado, let's just go to the start because we can't run over. So, Carlos Reutemann leads the championship by just 1 point from Nelson Piquet, but Jacques Laffite is also in contention for the world title, but it will be a bit of an uphill battle for him as he's 6 points behind, so would need to finish at least second, and would also need both Reutemann and Piquet to not score any points. So, as we go down to the grid, we can see it is championship leader Carlos Reutemann who's on pole, with Alan Jones in second place for his final race, and he's made it very clear he will not be helping his teammates win the championship after the team orders drama at the start of this season. Villeneuve has got his best qualifying results since Austria as he starts in third. Nelson Piquet will start in fourth, and the other championship contender Jacques Laffite is all the way down in 12th.
Well, away go the cars on this very tight, twisty, artificially made circuit, as we've said so many times, in the car park at Caesars Palace. They managed to cram in a 2.2-mile track into no distance at all. That's an aerial shot we're getting. Now back to the cars. Most of the corners are second and third gear corners. They're very, very tight, but they open out quite widely. The average speed is just over 100 miles an hour in qualifying, so it's not too slow, the track. Right-hander there, which is turn 3. A little kink after this as they go down. Down to double apex left-hander. This shot is from the roof of the hotel, looking down, which is, funnily enough, rather better than the grandstand seat. It's probably the best place to watch the race from. Get a terrific view from on top of the hotel or a room high up, whereas they've got terrific safety precautions here. They've got concrete walls all around the track, but it makes it a little bit difficult for spectators to see because, of course, the walls are taller than the cars. You don't actually see any walls there, but in the background there with those advertising signs. The cars, that's an example of how difficult it is to see over the walls. That looks like Alan Jones, there's Reutemann just warming up his tires, giving it a little bit of a squirt around there, trying to get some temperature in the tires because they get stickier as they get hotter, and it's important to try and get them as warm as possible. There is a huge Argentinian influx here at Las Vegas. They've been coming in from all over the place, and Reutemann's getting terrific support. And as Murray said earlier, he's been in wonderfully relaxed form, really enjoying himself. He's been here a week and a half preparing for the race, and I've never seen him so relaxed. Nelson Piquet just had a shot at him there, fourth car in our picture, who's struggled a little bit in practice. He had trouble with a stiff neck from the G-forces, and he went to get a massage in the Caesars Palace Hotel, and he got their expert masseur there who does all the boxers and things like that when they have the big fights. The guy did him such a mischief that Piquet's stiff neck was all right, but he had bruises all the way down his back and was in quite considerable discomfort yesterday. In fact, had to go to a doctor for treatment to recover from his massage.
Well, up they come to the grid now, and this start is going to be absolutely vital. There are 4 men in particular out of this 24-man entry going for 9 points for a win. Alan Jones, who is down in the championship, no chance of winning. Carlos Reutemann and Nelson Piquet, both of whom could, of course, as you well know, win. And Jacques Laffite, notwithstanding the fact that he's way down in 12th position on the grid, and he actually qualified in Patrick Tombé's car. Patrick Tombé, the man who's been fired from the team, and away they go. Look at Villeneuve. It's Alan Jones taking the lead. Villeneuve in second position, and Villeneuve making all that he can out of the turbocharged Ferrari power. And thank heavens they have all got round their critical first corner safely, with Alan Jones, the Australian, in his last Grand Prix, leading as they surge through round turn 1, then away into fourth gear, round turn 2, the left-hander, down to the long sweeping right-hander at turn 3, and see the lead as Alan goes into turns 5 and 6 with Villeneuve in second position. Now, Alan Jones is in a tremendously determined mood. His broken finger has mended, and there is Jarrier's car out of the race already. The Ocella of Jean-Pierre Jarrier, who qualified just in practice, and he's obviously had some sort of a problem at the start and is out of the race. Meantime, Alan Jones is very much in it. He has won one Grand Prix this year, and he said to me last night he dearly wanted, before he retired to his beloved farm in Australia, to win this, which could be the last Grand Prix of his career.
It's also come out in the news this week that Patrick Tambay will be leaving the Ligier team, and this will be his last race. So let's go check in and see how his last race is going.
To sixth position, and that's Tambay. That is Patrick Tambay. And look at that shattered car. The whole of the front of the car has been torn off, and Tambay has very obviously hurt his left leg or his left ankle, and is sensibly hopping as fast as he can out of the danger area, which is where his Talbot Matra car is now. This is lap 3 in this race. Patrick Tambay driving his last race for Talbot Matra because he had been fired in favour of Eddie Cheever, the American who has been signed by Talbot for 1982. And we look again at the race leader Alan Jones on lap 4.
Meanwhile, his teammate Laffite is up past John Watson now, but John Watson has not been feeling very well this week. Murray Walker gives us a full health update.
In spite of this flu, when John Watson came up to the start point this morning, there was liquid pouring out of every pore in his body. He really has a very nasty bout of some kind of trouble.
Thanks, Murray. That was disgusting. Anyway, let's focus on the championship contenders now, as Reutemann and Piquet find themselves sharing the same bit of tarmac.
There is Carlos Reutemann, chased by Nelson Piquet. This is the World Championship leader, Carlos Reutemann, on his 8th lap, with Piquet right behind him.
Interesting thing with the Reutemann and Piquet situation is that as long as they're in the points, in point-scoring positions, which at the moment, of course, they're not, lying in 7th and 8th place, but that's unlikely to remain for the whole race. But as long as they're in point-scoring positions, whoever finishes in front of the other one wins the championship. So they've both got to beat each other. And, of course, they're now perfectly poised to do battle. There they are, absolutely. So I understand as Reutemann swinging through the snow on Piquet right behind him.
Let's go to the top 3 now, as Gilles Villeneuve has found himself at the front of a very big queue, which includes Giacomelli, Laffite and Watson. And the queue has actually got even longer now, as Reutemann, Piquet and Andretti are here. Now, it would be worth saying at this point that if Piquet and Reutemann were to finish on equal points, then the championship would go to Nelson Piquet, as he's got 3 wins to Reutemann's 2.
What he's doing now is really, at the moment, in present circumstances, for the World Championship, and he's trying to get past Reutemann. Of course, one thing neither of them want to do, particularly Piquet. And Piquet, I think he's done it. Piquet's got him. Piquet's made it to Reutemann. Very, very well driven indeed. He played a waiting game. He pretended that he wasn't going to make an attempt, then nipped out, caught Reutemann a little bit unawares, and that now puts Piquet in a winning position for the World Championship. Now, Andretti has having a go, and he's passed Reutemann as well. Now, is Reutemann in trouble with his car?
Well, that's not great for Reutemann's championship hopes, but at the moment it's still okay because Piquet is 7th and will need to be in the top 6 to score points. And the Villeneuve queue continues to get longer, as it's now joined by Nigel Mansell and Riccardo Patrese. So the queue goes from 3rd all the way down to 11th. But the issue is the turbo power of that Ferrari makes it very difficult to pass in a straight line. So they're able to catch them in the corners, but as soon as they get on the straights, the Ferrari starts to pull away. Which means, hypothetically, Villeneuve could just keep all these guys behind for the entire race. So as long as nothing happens to Villeneuve, he could come away with third place today.
So what has happened to John Watson? That's Villeneuve. Gilles Villeneuve. It's happened. The decay and the rot are setting in. Villeneuve off, and he's unlikely to get started again because he's on the sand.
Well, unfortunate for Villeneuve, but that will probably be very popular indeed with all the drivers who were stuck behind him. It looked, we didn't actually see what happened to Gilles, but it looked, I would imagine that the fairly evil handling Ferrari finally got too much of a handful. It was very, very hard work indeed to drive.
But now, with Villeneuve out the way, Laffite is free to open up quite a big gap, and we see a fantastic battle here between Giacomelli, Andretti and Piquet.
There they go. Laffite is third. Mario Andretti and Giacomelli are fighting for fourth place, and there they are. And right behind them in sixth position is number 5, Nelson Piquet, in the World Championship point situation and challenging Andretti, who is now down to 5th place.
Well, that's pretty positive stuff from a pair of teammates there. Giacomelli standing no nonsense from his team leader Mario Andretti, shut the door on him in a fairly comprehensive style there, and that's all very well. Teammates do race each other, they're entitled to do so, but they're not usually very popular with their team if they touch each other and push each other off, and they weren't far away then.
But now it's time for one of my favourite games. Guess who's just DNF'd?
Is Riccardo Patrese, then lapped, and there's some...
It's Watson or Andretti. It's difficult to tell by the helmet. They've both got similar coloured helmets. There
Is it Watson? Is it Andretti? Cast your votes now.
A rather unfortunate caption.
It must have been Watson, because that's Andretti out there running now. So that looks like Watson has made error or gone off for some reason. Is out of the running. A great shame, because he was running very well.
John Watson, if it was John Watson, and we think it was in 7th place out of the points order. We'll soon know, because as we look at Andretti's 4th, Nelson Piquet in 5th position, it must have been Giacomelli. It's Giacomelli who's gone out, not John Watson.
Wait a minute, I can see here that Giacomelli is still in the race, so I don't think it's Giacomelli. I have no idea who it is, but I'm just quite happy that it wasn't the amazing Andrea de Cesaris, because, you know, he's in a car that looks like that a little bit, and whenever you see one on the side of the road, you often think, well, that's the amazing Andrea de Cesaris. And he's had a tough year this year. The rumour is he's being replaced by Niki Lauda. I just want him to finish the last race of the season.
Andrea de Cesaris obviously out of the race. Again.
God damn it! Oh, right, okay. Well, okay, let's keep on moving. John Watson's just come into the pits. That pushes Reutemann up to 6th, but it would still mean that Piquet takes the championship by just 1 point. And now Mario Andretti is out of the race. And now Murray Walker told me before, he has been practicing an impression of Mario Andretti all year. We're going to hear it right now. Across to you, Murray.
Having a look to see what's happened to what he would describe as that goddamn rear wheel, I'm sure.
Very good, Murray. Very, very good. But what's happened to Alain Prost?
Into the pits comes Alain Prost. Alain Prost has come into the pits, and he is in 2nd position.
Yes, well, he's liable. This could well be a tyre change, because he is, in fact, running the same Michelin tyres that Watson has been running. We haven't got a shot of him at the moment to see what he's doing, and from our commentary position, we can't actually see what they're doing to his car. But that certainly makes a different situation, because that moves the feet up into 2nd place. And, of course, it's still no good with Piquet running in 3rd or 4th place.
And Nigel Mansell has moved ahead of Carlos Reutemann, as out of the pits goes Alain Prost, and he's going to be in about 8th position when he exits the pits, I think, maybe even behind Carlos Reutemann.
So, as we enter lap 33, Alain Jones is still in the lead where he has been since lap 1. Laffite is 2nd, Piquet 3rd, Mansell 4th, Reutemann 5th, and Prost is in the last points-paying position, and Piquet is still leading the championship. Although Prost has got quite some speed at this point in the race.
It's Reutemann, and he's got Prost right behind him. Carlos Reutemann is in 4th position. 5th position, behind Nigel Mansell. So that means to say in 6th position will be Alain Prost, who's coming very, very close to Reutemann. and there's no question of that Renault not handling. Look at the way it goes, and look at the way he just surges past Carlos Reutemann.
In a head-to-head situation against Carlos Reutemann.
And there is the answer. Piquet gives way and lets Alain Prost through up into third position as Alan Jones completes his 43rd lap ahead of them.
Well, Prost is doing incredibly here and is now catching the back of P2. I do hope our excellent cameramen do not miss his overtake for second place.
And there you look across the circuit, and I can tell you, I hope they give us a shot of this. I'm sorry to keep talking out of picture, but there's some exciting things happening which you must know about, and this is that Alain Prost has just caught and taken, as our cameraman goes berserk to find him, Jacques Laffite in the Torba Matra, and there you have the new second place man, and see the way he is pulling away from Laffite. This could be the tyre problem that James was hypothesising, because Laffite is definitely dropping back from Prost, who is now second, and we look at Bernie Ecclestone.
Yes, well, I think, in fact, what's happened is that Prost, who was quicker than Laffite anyway early in the race, and now aided by having a newer set of tyres, is going quicker rather than Laffite actually going slower, because Laffite is holding his gap very much to Piquet and the people behind him. So I don't think Laffite is in any sort of trouble. I think it's just that Prost is really charging. He's having a fabulous season, Alan Prost. He's a real charging driver, and he's also very, very steady. He makes very few mistakes.
Wow, so Prost, what he's done here, at the start of the race he started on one set of tyres, pushed those really hard to gain an advantage, then pit for a new set of tyres, and has pushed those really hard as well, and is now past people who've been on the tyres that they started on the race. It's like he's done some kind of strategy with tyres, but I don't know what you would call it. It's hard to put your finger on it, but whatever he's done, it's very impressive. But so far, it has not been a good day for Carlos Reutemann. He entered this race as championship leader on pole position. He now sits in 7th and out of the points and going to lose the title to Nelson Piquet. But surely it can't get any worse.
Much faster than him in practice, and there it is. There is Alan Jones, the world champion from Glenburn, passing the man that we thought would well win the world championship this year, his teammate Carlos Reutemann. Well, Jones won in the Argentine this year.
Okay, it could get worse, but it can't get worse than this. It's not like Piquet's on the podium.
The non-championship event, and there is Piquet up into second place. Nelson Piquet then, Jacques Laffite must surely be in trouble.
But wait a minute, what's this? Nigel Mansell is going quickly.
Laffite fighting back in the race, and Nigel Mansell with him. Nigel Mansell goes through. Oh, great, wonderful. Nigel Mansell in the Lotus then is up into 4th position.
But surely he's not quick enough to pass Nelson Piquet.
And Mansell is ahead of Piquet.
It's unbelievable! Nigel Mansell is on the podium! I don't believe this is happening! It's insane! Nigel Mansell, he's going to be the 1982 world champion! I see it already! Mark my words, you heard it here first! British champion in 1982, his name's going to be Nigel Mansell!
And Laffite is coming into the pits! Laffite, Jacques Laffite, watch the pit road there, because Jacques Laffite is in trouble and is into the pit.
Jacques Laffite in the pits now. It looks like he's trying out some kind of Alain Prost strategy based around tyres, but surely it's too late for this at this point. And all of a sudden, Bruno Giacomelli is starting to push.
There's Giacomelli just going past Nelson Piquet there, and he's moved him up a place, but of course Nelson Piquet is not worried so long as he finishes in the points. That's all he needs.
And we have to go across to Murray now, who's got a very important update for us.
Well, those of you in Britain who are waiting for Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, I can give you the news that it will follow the end of the Grand Prix, but we don't know what you're going to be seeing in Australia. We doubt, from our point of view, that it will be anything like as interesting as that which we are looking at.
Well, actually, you know, we're nearly done here, and it looks like everyone's kind of set in their positions as we're going on here. So we can just start Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. We don't want to go over. We'll come back if anything drastic happens, but yeah, let's just roll on Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Oh, well, that's London. I know that. I've seen that before. Okay, we're in a who's this fella? Well, he's got a lovely folder. Why are there so many phones on that table? That must be confusing. You never know which phone to pick up. Well, the one that's ringing, I imagine. Anyway, he's got a folder, and inside the folder, it's another folder. There isn't a third folder, though. He's got his papers ready. This man is prepared. Check the time. 11:30. Lovely. Have a drink. Oh, he's got a friend. It's Nigel Mansell! My goodness! Nigel Mansell making a cameo appearance on Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. I don't believe it! What a superstar he is! Already taking over the world of Grand Prix racing. Now taking over Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Although, you shouldn't smoke, kids. That is bad. Not approved by Nigel Mansell. Another man here. Okay. Also has a fault. Oh, he's not happy about something. Maybe it's the smoke from Nigel Mansell's cigarette. Nigel Mansell, of course, playing a character who smokes, would never do it in real life, of course, you know. But here we go. Is that a pencil case he's got there? You brought your own pencil case? Oh, someone's creeping in. Oh, he's got a cup of tea. He's got a... Careful now. Careful now. Oh, he's nearly at the table. Will he make it? Not spilling a drop. Extraordinary talent. Oh, someone's at the door. Come in. Hello. Oh no. He's closed the door. Very efficient. I like this man. He has morals similar to mine. Oh. The pipe has been lit as well. Lots of smoke in this room.
Right. We shall start.
Wow, that was really good. I enjoyed that. Oh, the race is over. Oh my god. Alan Jones wins the race after leading every lap of his final race. Jim Clark is the only other world champion who has won their final race they competed in. So Jones now in a very exclusive club. As long as he doesn't come out of retirement in 4 to 5 years' time and then have a string of DNFs before DNFing in his eventual final race, then he'll be in this club forever. But I doubt that would happen. Alain Prost comes home in second, and it's Bruno Giacomelli in third place. He must have passed Mansell whilst Mansell was appearing in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, as Nigel Mansell comes home in fourth. So that is Giacomelli's first ever podium. Nelson Piquet is fifth, Jacques Laffite is sixth and gets the final points, Watson is seventh, and Carlos Reutemann is eighth. So with that, Nelson Piquet becomes the 1981 Formula One World Champion. Brabham produced a world champion for the third time after Denny Hulme in 1967 and Jack Brabham himself in 1966. Carlos Reutemann will have to settle for second in the championship by just 1 point. And third place in the championship goes to Alan Jones with Laffite fourth and Prost fifth.
There's the confirmation. There is the world champion. All around him, his team, the flags of Brazil. There's a lot of his Brazilian supporters here. And everybody here at Las Vegas, as I am sure all around the world, hails the world champion, Nelson Piquet, and, of course, the race winner, Alan Jones.
So there you go. That is the 1981 Formula One season in the books. I will see you next time for the 1982 Formula One season.
Thank you.